Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity, where last time we started exploring the Gilded Vale. Not the Gilded... the town. We picked up Eder, and we also talked to the Animancer. I forget her name. The dwarf woman who was dead on the tree. And she told us we were a Watcher, and she gave us our objective, so we had to go talk to the old Watcher, who's at Cadnua. So we gotta do that. We also have to help out Kalisha's sister, who is pregnant and wants us to get some medicine for her that's going to hopefully stop her child from being born without a soul. We'll see how that goes. Adir wants to talk to the old Watcher as well. He's got some questions for him. And then we also have to go find Tenfrith, who is in Valewood. So before we go anywhere, we're going to finish exploring the rest of the town. I think we have all this to explore still. I think there's a couple quests left to find in here, so that's what we're doing now.
Of course.
Zlox the Usurper. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Reach out for the soul. You see a lone man standing in a field. He looks around, surveying the crops. Occasionally, he bends to examine a leaf up close. He is intent on what he is doing, completely absorbed in his work. This man approaches him from behind. He moves slowly, but does nothing to mask his approach. In his hand, he holds a large sword. There appears to be no malice or hatred in the man's demeanor. He almost seems pleased. The first man hears his approach and stands, turning away from the plant he was inspecting. His face breaks into a smile, and he opens his arms to welcome the approaching man. The smile freezes into a grimace as the second man thrusts the sword through his stomach, its blade now protruding from his back. His arms slowly fall to his side, and blood starts to drip from the sword onto the plants below the men. As the first man crumbles to his knees, the second pulls the sword out, a tear slowly falling down the cheek of his still smiling face. Well, that's an interesting story. Clink. As you near, you feel a vibrant history reach out. You see a small group of people gathered around the ruins of a house. The destruction continues out from the single dwelling through the entire village. Not a single building still stands. Rubble is scattered everywhere. One of the men in the group leans over something in the debris. It is this man, younger, barely more than a boy. The man reaches out and shakes the boy by the shoulder. The boy makes no sound and doesn't respond to the man's disturbance. The man looks up at the other members of the group and shrugs, standing to rejoin his friends. The boy suddenly sits up, eyes wide. He scrabbles backward, away from the group, looking around in horror. The group moves toward him in unison, eliciting a yelp from the boy, who tries to move further away. A woman in the group puts out her hands, stopping the rest. She turns to them reproachfully, motions for them to stay, then looks at the boy on the ground, who is trying to push himself through what remains of a wall. He seems unaware he has even stopped. The woman slowly moves toward the boy, hands out, speaking in a low, calming tone. For a time, the boy doesn't even hear. He just closes his eyes and braces himself against the wall, expecting violence. Eventually, the woman's words work through the fear, and he hears her. He opens his tear-filled eyes and stares at her. She holds out a hand to him. He looks at it, seeming confused by the offer, then hesitantly reaches out. She takes his hand in hers and leans down to help him stand. Step back. That was, still a terrible story, for that kid, but at least it didn't end in death. It started in death, but didn't end in death. These are really interesting stories. I still wonder if they lead to anything. I don't know. Are they just there for fun, or is there more meaning to those? We'll read all the ones we find, but I do wonder. Alright, let's go meet the locals in here after we take their gold rot chew, you know. Anything back here? What do we have here? Despite the rains, the stalks feel as dry and stiff as a locust husk. That's not good. Oh. Get those. Some more spring berries. See what's in here. Kara, Eloth, and Eldon Prioston. We're not going to steal? Hello. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained. Reach out. You see a crowded marketplace, vendor stalls lining the road, their proprietors' voices calling out to passerby to come sample the wares. This woman wanders through the throngs, strolling hand in hand with another woman. They peruse the vendor's goods, tearing at a book merchant with a number of old and beautiful tomes, chatting with one another about what they see. One will pick up a book and show it to the other, who will take it, comment on it, and place it back on its shelf. Then the first will snatch up the book again and quickly pay the merchant before the other can snatch it back. They walk away from the market, weighed down by packs filled with books, still hand in hand, standing close, comfortable and familiar with each other. As they pass down a somewhat deserted street, an object suddenly hits the woman in the chest and bounces off, rolling away toward one of the buildings. The woman stops, or the women stop, and look down at the object, an apple, and then back up at the person who threw it. There's nothing special about him, aside from the angry look on his face and the two other apples he holds. Before either woman can move, the man draws back and throws another one at them, this time hitting the second woman in the forehead. He yells at them, something derisive and hateful. Something about a legacy and about responsibilities. The woman raises her hand to her head and wipes the juice and bits of fruit from her face and stares the man down defiantly. The first woman squeezes her hand and puts the other on the companion's shoulder, attempting to calm her down. The other woman pulls a book from her pack and holds it before her, muttering under her breath. She pulls her hand free and waves it above the book, an aura forming around her. The first woman is still trying to calm her down, but all she says goes unheard. The man, uncaring of the events happening in front of him, draws back and throws the last apple. As it arcs through the air toward them, the second woman brings up her hand and points at the apple. A glowing orb of energy flies from her hand and strikes the apple, causing it to explode, raining bits of apple down on the road and building around them. The man's face changes, anger joined by fear, looking like he's trying to decide if running or attacking is the better course of action. The second woman has started chanting again, her hands glowing, her eyes narrowing. The woman steps in front of her, placing herself between her love and their attacker. She touches her face, gently stroking it, while whispering calming words. A kiss. The woman's countenance changes. She calms, her eyes softening, her lips regaining the lost smile. The first woman smiles again as well and kisses the other. "Wizard scum," the man behind them says, and the two women turn to face him, staring him down defiantly. They join hands and begin walking again, moving past him without so much as a sideways glance. That was a good story. I like that one. I've liked them all so far. Alright, Edlin. Reach out. You see a key turned gently, steady, and hear a ghostly click as the door swings inward. Two figures slip in, locking the door behind them, and begin their prowl. Their hunt is efficient, and it takes them little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents in oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets. Rucksacks, bags. Excuse me. The door opens downstairs and everything freezes. Footsteps. A tired giggle. The thieves are all eye whites and short breath as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities. Anything noisy hurriedly replaced. Silence from downstairs. Then tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forward, the other gesticulating wildly for him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves the woman. The woman falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor below. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother, and they make their escape, collecting whatever of value they can on the way out. Murderer! I kill. Oh, what's this? Rats scurry behind the sacks. Good to know. You got a rat problem, guys. Should probably take care of that. Alright. Next up, let's see what else we find. More people. Doran Chamberlain. Reach out. You see a large crowd gathering in the middle of the courtyard. This man stands in the midst of them. a cloak pulled over his head, holding it closed around his neck. The crowd has congregated around a platform, and they all watch transfixed as a man is led to the platform, flanked by 2 city guardsmen. The man is shackled hand and foot, but carries himself as a nobleman, not deigning to even glance at the crowd. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns to leave, hunching over to avoid being seen, or hunching over. A crier on the platform unrolls a parchment and begins to read, but the man pays no attention, instead intent on getting away from the courtyard. The crier's voice grows louder and more intense as he reads in voice, and voice from the crowd start to punctuate his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent with each one. The cloaked man flinches, and his shoulders droop. He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard as the crier reaches the end of his proclamation. The crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. There is a wet thunk, and the crowd breaks into cheers and applause. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, then straightens up. With obvious resolve, he strides off, away from the crowd and his legacy. It's tough, man. Rudolfer. You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. Their owner, a slightly hook-nosed man with a wicked grin and narrower eyes. He bobs his feathered hat at a nearby merchant as he ambles by, a small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink straining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few, always smiling, laughing, and exchanging jibes. He approaches a heavy-set Amawa, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and a smile on his face far more genuine. He tips his cap at her, winking, and truddles off, with a new spring in his step. He got paid. I always have a spring in my step when I get paid, too. So we have... That's not a place we can go. We'll go explore around it, just in case there's any loot or something. I keep trying to rotate the map. I'm used to Wrath of the Righteous, where you can rotate the map. It's a crazy thing. I've actually gotten really used to doing that with these kinds of games. Alright, we got another house here. Alright, we have Naunton, who we ran into before on the road in Valewood. He said his friend got killed by a bear. This bottle of what is it? Yeah. Sonreed is half empty. Okay. We can actually loot this place. That's interesting. We're not going to, because that's stealing. Ingrid. This man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing 2 bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Gods keep you.
Can we help you? She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this woman, Naunton? Naunton coughs. Yes. I think we met in the Valewood. I warned her about the bear. He inclined his head. Glad to see you've made it. Was there something else you wanted? You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so, Ingrid laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and... She looks at Naunton. Well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. Naunton reaches to take her hand. It's time for some new scenery, he says. Is there anything you can tell me about Gilded Vale? Ingrid smiles wryly. Only that you'll want to be moving on as soon as you can. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine. But the rot goes deeper. If you were looking for work, I'd say you have a better chance of it elsewhere. We're headed for Defiance Bay ourselves. Naunton adds. Alright. Hey, well, good luck to you guys. We'll learn more about them later. Alright, next up. What do we got over here? Black Hammer Smithy. And the windmill. Let's go up to the windmill first. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads. But we'll be back, Trumbull. And we'll have fair prices. Or by the flame, we'll have a reckoning. Alright. Against the Grain. That's a good title for that this quest. Gotta get our mushrooms. Settler's Arrow. Let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit. There we go. Let's go in here, see what's going on. At the windmill. An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn, and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back, if you value your life. Put that thing down before you get yourself hurt. Hold on, I'm not here to hurt anyone. I don't like being threatened. Put that thing down before you get yourself hurt. Trumbull only raises the club higher. I mean it! I won't have Swainer and his lackeys threatening me with my own mill. In my own mill. My name is Clesia. I've only just arrived in Gilded Vale. Trumbull shakes his head. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale's had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now. And Swainer thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. Who's Swainer? The dwarf. The one standing out there spreading lies among the villagers. Bastard's been here for decades, and he hasn't gotten any kinder with time. The miller hesitates and lowers the club a fraction. Who are you? Is Swainer roping foreigners into his little crusade now? I thought you could use some help. Those people out there seem pretty angry. Really? Trumbull sighs relief. Hate Hylia's tits. Could I use a friendly face? I take it you heard some part of what that crowd was asking for? Grain, as if I've got it all tucked away somewhere. Swainer's been egging that lot on for days now. They've been keeping clear so far, but if things keep on like they are, I don't know how much longer we've got before things get messy. Please, if you're not here on his behalf, maybe you could speak to Swainer. He won't listen to me anymore. Just explain that we're all getting smaller rations now. We're all making sacrifices. I'll see what I can do. I'd rather keep out of this whole mess. I had some other questions. I'll see what I can do. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if he did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. Folk around town say you're the sensible sort. Even Swamer can appreciate that if you convince him. I'll be in your debt for it. Am I known around town already? I have some questions.
Gods keep you.
I have more questions. Trumbull breathes a short laugh. What's to explain? It isn't very complicated. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling after things he has no right to. Maybe I ought to go have a talk with Swainer then. Seems like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. If you don't want those people in here with torches, maybe you ought to stop lying to me. Stop lying. Trumbull blinks, taken aback. I'm not. Look, it's no lie. The stores really are low. And with so little grain around, I had to raise prices for some people. There are folk in this town that deserve far better than Swainer and his lot. People who have done more for Gilded Vale. People like the magistrate? I can't do anything about that, Trumbull says, his voice quiet. That's just how it works. Maybe things are different elsewhere. Here, Radric's men, they keep the village safe, so they eat well. I never found this out before. This is new to me. Maybe I ought to go have a talk with Swainer then. Swainer's people are farmers. They gathered the grain for you. What do you mean? Swainer, the rest. They've always been troublemakers, loud, drunken fools. That woman with them, her soul traces back to Dryden, the wretched brigand, and it shows. We have good people in this town, people still hanging on to what's left of it. They deserve a little more, that's all I'm saying. Swainer's people are farmers. They gather that grain for you. They sure didn't mind losing that grain when it was going into the drinks at the inn. They don't make like kind neighbors when they insult my son. Okay, I see. They don't make like kind neighbors when they insult my son. Go stumbling drunk through my own crops. You think they're the only ones that need to eat? Now the crops are sick, and the wind's too weak to get the windmill turning. Our village's children are born as empty shells. That's not my doing. This place is cursed, and Swainer and the others haven't done a thing to help the rest of us through the lean seasons. Is your self-righteousness worth losing your family over? Trumbull opens his mouth to protest, but his expression shifts into resignation well before he finally nods and speaks. You're right, he says quietly. I've been trying to plan for the future, but we're in danger here and now. Fine. Tell Swainer and the others that I've reconsidered. Provided he pays the same as everyone else, he's welcome to his fair share. Trumbull sighs. And let's hope we can trade for supplies real soon, or we'll all be in a bad way. Awesome. Hello. You'll regret this, and so will Swainer, when the town's starving around him. Yeah, but then at least you guys will be in it together. You've got what you've wanted. Leave us alone now. I think that was the right decision. I mean, I understand what he's saying, but like, I don't know. You guys can at least win. The hammer finally falls. You'll all be working together, hopefully. You'll all be in it together. That's my thinking, anyway. Alright, we got the Black Hammer Smith. We're going to go around this side, and then we'll go to the front there. Let's see what we got. This looks like some sort of chapel. Maybe. Nah, it's just a chimney. Just a chimney. Alright, anything up here? Where's this going? Oh, it leaves. That leaves. So does that over there. So does that there. Despite the rains. Okay, yeah. We've seen that before. Come down this way. A bunch of cows. At least you guys have some cows. That's more food. Alright. Probably not enough to feed an entire village, but... Alright. Black Hammer Smithery. Let's see what's in here. Alright, what do we have? More stealing. Dented and dull, these swords look ready for the forge. Apprentice, got a couple of people's souls to read. Let's do that now. Harlan, Orinson. Reach out. You see a man crouching, surreptitious and alone. A series of untamed shrubs, all that hide him from the vision ahead. His eyes are locked on a Delimgan, beautiful and terrible, eyes half-lidded as she hums. A bird with fantastic blue and orange plumage sits on her shoulder, trilling gently, and the man is entranced. Trembling, tentative, he stands, and the tranquility is broken by the bird's startling squawk. The Delimgan half smiles, beckoning with twig-like fingers. She does not speak as he approaches. His mouth is dripping sounds of awe and admiration. She waits, coy and tempting, and with agonizing slowness he is before her. Then something changes. She sees something hanging limply from his side and begins to hiss, fingers suddenly claws and eyes black with hate. He has no time to reach for his axe or grimoire as she strikes, and just as soon as she strikes, she is gone, the only evidence of her existence is the shuddering wreck on the ground. He grabs at his grimoire nevertheless and begins to chant, but the words of a magical language of his own imagining, scribbling in a maniacal shorthand, ring hollow, and the silence continues unbated. He turns and shrugs at someone or something. But if there is something there, you do not see it. Weird. Dugan. Reach out. You see a group of adventurers surrounded by a crowd of attacking Zarups. This man is with them, seemingly unconcerned by the battle, even detached from it as he stands in the middle of his comrades, chanting, his expression bordering on elation. His voice is powerful and deep, booming out across the combatants as a rich counterpoint to the chaos of their fighting. With every phrase, the battlefield changes. His allies glow with a pulsing blue light, freezing the Zarups that surround them. A blazing pyre erupts from the ground, cutting and burning the creatures and sending them scattering. One of the fallen Zarups suddenly explodes as 3 giant grubs crawl from its corpse and attack the remaining enemies. The man continues to chant, thoroughly enthralled in the joy of the moment. Finally, the creatures have been reduced to 1. His allies stand back as the man approaches it, still chanting. He removes his hammer and swings it at the Zarup. His phrase ends as the hammer connects with its head, punctuating the spell and bringing his song to an end. You want to sign it with us, buddy? You sound like you're really powerful. An account of Tatuna's sales. The pages are nearly empty. The Amawa man is of an impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is the dusky blue of the deeper oceans, and his thick arms boast corded muscles. Small ears frame a square jaw face coated in smeared soot, and arcing black tattoos alike. He offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome! You're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? Is this your shop? That it is. Been here near on 20 years now. Seen all manners of things over the years. Good luck and bad. Tatanu glances at the guard standing watch along the wall, but the Black Hammer Smithery remains. What do you have here? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be, but we've fine weapons and armor to offer yet, all forged right here at the Black Hammer. What happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect that they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them. Or my workers ran off with the wagon themselves, maybe, to make some coin. Tatanu snorts, as if that would dare. He's right about the bandits. The dire situation in villages like this and the exodus to the cities have created far too many opportunities for unscrupulous sorts. Tatanu scratches his jaw, thinking, if you happen to be headed east or that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for a supply wagon, or my shipment at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace, Lord Roderick. Tatanu glances at the nearby guard, and that's as it should be, but it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. I'll see them back safe and sound. I'll find your supplies. Where was the wagon traveling from? We send the wagon up to New Hiomar with weapons, and it swings round through Logholm and the like to purchase supplies. Shortest route back is through the Black Meadow, and then north through the wilds. Tatanu shakes his head. Had a trader come through with word that they'd made it to Logholm, but haven't heard a thing since. I'll find your supplies. Tatanu nods. Then you have my thanks. You bring those supplies back, and I'll have plenty more to offer you. A discount to start. Oh, and if you find my workers, tell them to hurry it up, or they can take up farming instead. All right, another quest.
Well met, friend.
Let's see your wares. What do you have right now? Jenna's lance. I don't know how to pronounce that E there, so I'm just gonna say Jenna. It is a 6,000 copper piece lance. Jesus, how much money do I have? 322. 724 piercing. Properties, increased reach of Constitution +1 and reliable. We got hold wall. 4800 crossbow. Damn, look at that piercing damage. Speed and reduced crit damage. And Azurith's stiletto. So a dagger. Nothing that we need. I mean, the crossbow actually might be good for us. Right? That's what we use when we're not casting spells. You use a sword, I believe, and you have the grimoire. So you don't use anything. Okay. Let me just check your... You actually are using a saber, but... I'm assuming I can just get you whatever. Does it say... Does he have like a... I don't think he's got like a weapon focus sort of thing or anything going on. Okay, let's head out. I think we are done exploring the village now. So we're going to head up to Valewood, find the chef, and do some exploring around there. Yeah, I think that's everything. Road south. We're not going into the Temple of Eothas yet. I don't know if we can even do that yet. So we're going up here. Are we moving? There we go. Alright. Keep going up. Valewood. Will take you 8 hours. Yes. Alright. Kinda wish it wasn't dark. It's a little creepy. Alright, let's go exploring. We'll just go up this side first. So we don't want to go that way, but we'll just keep... Okay, we got a young wolf. You have your crossbow out. What are you using? You have a scepter. Okay, I see how it works. There we go. Go ahead and take that wolf skin.
Of course.
Got some mushrooms. Can't go up that, right? That's a cliff, okay. What do we have here? Shattered pieces of a crate are strewn across the dirt along with a few muddy vegetables. Too bad. See a body over there. Wonder if that's the guy. River Reed, take that. Don't want to cross the water yet. Let's explore up here. I think this is where the bear should be. A lot of enemies, I like that. Anything over here? Just a way out. Okay. Up here we go. And here's the cave. Let's go ahead and save it. Go in. Okay. Attack. Let's go ahead. Go into slow mode here. 15 slashing damage on Edir. Let's go ahead. Cast this. We should probably cast this on like every encounter, huh? So dazed for 14 seconds. Another 12 damage on Edir. Oh, you're not attacking anymore. Good. Near death. Another hit on Edir. Luckily, he's got a ton of stamina. Almost be gone. The daze is gone. Which means he's doing a lot more damage on Edir, but Edir survives. And we win. 351 experience points. Good stuff. What do we got? Bearskin. And this must be the guy who's dead. Or who was killed.
Got it.
Cave coral. And loot this chest back here too. We have a morning star. Okay. Alright, what do we got here? Lost Spirit. A figure drifts suspended in the musty air of the cavern. Its form and features blur and twist in cascading ripples and incandescence. You feel its energy eddying about your limbs, filling them with a heavy chill. Reach out. You reach out a hand for the spirit. In the moment of contact, you feel as if you have been struck a blow, head reeling as you tumble helplessly into a waiting darkness. Light blooms at the edge of your vision. You feel the sun at your back and the weight of a bow in your hand. You know, suddenly, that you have come a long way from the vale, hunting deer. Now you are standing before a cavern, and the darkness extends far into its depths. Even so, your friend strides out before you, his red cloak flapping at his heels. You follow, heart hammering in your chest, as he leads you deeper into the cavern. There is a roar like thunder, echoing around you. Fear seizes you, casts you stumbling back toward the exit, toward light and escape. You see a glint of steel, and there is a sudden terrible flash of agony behind your knee. You scream, stumble, fall. Your thoughts are chaos, lanced through with pain, but in a moment of terrible clarity, you see your friend look back from the mouth of the cavern, his dagger daubed and crimson to match his cloak. And then there is a great, dark shape above you, and then there is more pain. The vision recedes, and you are thrown back into yourself with seemingly resentful force. The corpse lies at your feet, and the specter lingers. In the span of energy between you both, you feel a sense of questioning, of confusion, of anger. I met him on the road, your friend. Be at peace. May you be blessed with greater fortune in the next life. Be at peace. The spirit roils with thwarted anger and grief. Sorrow seems to seep into the air of the cavern. The spirit dims and fades until you are alone once more. Vengeance from the Graves. Find the man with the red cloak. Mice crawl through the eye sockets and over femurs. Oh, there's skeletons in there. Okay.
Hey.
Alright, let's keep moving. So it looks like Norton has some explaining to do. How dare he betray his friend. Alright, let's head over this way. Cross the river now. Okay, we got some Zarips. Attack. Okay, we got quite a few of them. I'm gonna go ahead, do this. Good, they're dazed. Have all of you attack this one. Good, and one more.
Not getting through me.
Good. That went well.
Of course.
You guys got just a bunch of nothings. We got a body here, a padded cap, some silver. Okay. Can I give the cap to you? You want the cap? Oh, you have a hood already. We'll hold on to it then. The struts and supports are large enough to be the ribs and vertebrae of a dragon. Are they though? Or are they just shaped to be that way? Oh, we just killed that little family of Zarips. Well, they killed a traveler, it looks like, at least. Although we don't know his story. Maybe he was trying to steal from them. Are we the bad guys? Probably. Okay, so we've been up here already, so we just gotta explore this area here. Okay. Get into position. We got a dead body there. Let's just go this way. And a touch more salt. Save it. How long does it take to make some damn stew? The young dwarf tending to the stew looks up, startled, as he sees your approach. He drops his ladle, spattering stew across the ground. What? The bandit turns. Get her, you dogs, and make sure our new cook don't run off. Help! Please help me! Ah! One of the bandits gives Timfrith a kick as they pass him, and he huddles. Okay. Got this guy. You're gonna do your thing. Right there. Good. Do your thing. We can probably start casting... We do a spell. Cone of fire. Maybe like some missiles at this bandit. There's really good damage there. You try and finish him off. Good, one's down. That'll make things easier for us. Oh, you're not attacking now? Okay, he got a heal. We can do one more of these, might as well. Good damage. Kadir's doing alright. Is he healing? Is it? I don't know. Let's see. What do you got? Nothing I want to use. There we go. He's gone. Everybody move up to him. Should be rather easy. The archer. Near death. There we go. Victory! Good for us. Alright, let's loot. Take it all.
Welcome.
By the flame, thank you! Thank you, thank you! I thought I'd be stuck cooking for these ignorant weasels for the rest of my life. Or until they were bored with me, I suppose. Did Pasca send you? She must be beside herself. I must get back at once. But listen, the next time you're in Gilded Vale, make sure to drop by the Black Hound. I'll let her know what you've done for me, and I'm sure she'll do right by you in turn. Oh, to be back at my oven again. There we go. 550 or 550 experience. Nice. I'll take all that.
Hey.
Got a lot of food stuff, it looks like, which we will take. Wanted to be putting all this stuff in my cache. The tent is empty, but for a pair of stained cots and the stink of unwashed bodies.
Hey.
Nothing like the stink of unwashed bodies. Alright, let's see what's in this ruin here. A young wolf. A bunch of wolves, okay.
Yeah.
Do this. Good. What happened to you? Constant recovery. You're flanked. Okay. What's this one? Crucible of the Soul. Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what that is. Let's do this. Oh, I thought our hound was gonna be attacking us. Got scared there for a second. There we go. Wow, that... I don't know if it was our buff, but that helped a lot there. It felt like we were doing a lot more damage. Okay. These aged walls appear to have once encircled the entire glade. Only a small fragment remain, and the stairs leading to the top of the structure have crumbled away. Examine the wall more closely. The heavy bricks are slick with moss, presenting a hindrance to climbing, but the stones themselves seem sturdy enough. Given the right tools, one might easily be able to reach the top. Scale. The crumbling walls is of considerable height, even now, and its uneven surface promises a difficult climb. I'll do it myself. You find a handhold upon one of the large, but the uneven bricks and the odd angle of ascent makes the climb difficult, and after a short distance, your arms begin to burn too fiercely. You're forced to drop back down to the ground. Scale. Edir. Edir finds a handhold upon one of the large stones and starts to climb. Despite a few loose rocks and awkward angles, Edir makes a swift progress and quickly arrives at the top. Once there, Edir helps you up and over the side. Awesome. And here we have some gloves. Dexterity +2, very nice. Leather armor, camping supplies, and scrawled letter. I do not think you will ever see this, but you were right, Fulvano. We should have journeyed south together and been safer for it. I would tolerate all the gloating in the world if I might live to hear it. I have put myself out of reach of the beasts circling below, but I am done for all the same. I do not think I will rise again. Whoever finds this, pray for me. Perhaps in the next life I will be I shall be a trapper of wolves. Rest in peace, buddy. I can't take those. Take these. Okay. So we're gonna wear the gloves. Because dexterity is important to me, and I'm the main character. There we go. What did that change for me? Right here. Our reflexes are up. Nice. Good.
Hey,
Loot that. Loot this. Blood moss. Okay. And that's everything here. Climb down. Alright. I think that's everything on this map. It looks like we've covered everything. So we're going to head over here back to Gilded Vale. That was pretty quick. Oh, I didn't even know this. There was a pass right there. Back to Gilded Vale. Where we will rest because we just spent, what, 16 hours on the road and exploring and fighting. So we need some rest. I don't know, is there a fatigue system in this game? I don't remember. Guess I'll find out. You have anything new to say? Or get?
I have received confirmation that Lord Radric's heir was not born well.
Uh-oh.
My lord has issued an injunction on all new homesteads until he can be assured that the village has been cleansed of all Eothasians and whatever other undesirables that have brought this curse upon his lands. It would be best if you left town as soon as possible. I would suggest returning to your old home. There will be no place for you here. You may stay at the inn until you can make the necessary arrangements, but I would not advise remaining long. I expect Lord Radric will be most thorough in his efforts to purify this place.
You know, this guy talks like he's a douche. But he's actually being pretty nice, right? Like, his warning is like, hey, you might want to get out of here, buddy. This is outrageous. I came a long way. Yeah, we're aggressive. Then you should have no problem continuing on. Trust me when I say it would be best if you were not here when Lord Radric's men are dispatched from his hold. They will be looking for anyone who might have brought the legacy upon us, whose very presence might have polluted his wife's womb. They will extinguish all possibilities. Tell me more about him. He comes from a line of nobles who have defended these lands since Adir's time. Or Adir's time. Adir? Radric II was an early supporter of Deerwood independence during the Revolution, and the current Lord's father perished in the Saints' War. Hollowborn began appearing in the Direwood shortly after the war's end. Lord Radric, or Radric, whatever, has taken it upon himself to purge the curse from Gilded Vale. His measures have been severe but necessary. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to have been enough to protect his heir. The Saints' War? Our age's most egregious example of a man's madness. 15 years ago, the people of Red Ceres decided that Widwin, I don't know, their living saint, was the literal incarnation of the god Eothas. Erget wrinkles his pinched nose. This supposed saint took it upon himself to liberate the Direwood, supposedly from allegiances to less worthy gods. But I've never known an army to conquer a land for its people's own good. The war lasted about 10 years, but you can guess what the year did to the worship of Eothas in the Direwood. Lord Radric's men, forebears had all been Eothasians. I don't know. But after his father fell defending us from those fanatics, he personally saw that the Temple of Eothas here in town was shut down. He points at a few ruined walls near the tree. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. Tell me more about Gilded Vale. We're a frontier village, as are most settlements in the Direwood. Gilded Vale hasn't grown much since its establishment in the colonial days, and the last 15 years have seen our population shrink further. It takes in the ramshackle houses and half-fallen fences, hence our recruitment of fresh settlers. Alof snorts. Indeed. Why has Gilded Vale's population been shrinking? Widewind's legacy, of course. Many women have had difficulty bearing healthy children of late. A few years ago, Lord Radric decreed that no mothers of Hollowborn are to be allowed in Gilded Vale. His mouth tightens into a firm line. His lordship dealt swiftly with the objectors. It may be harsh, but if it purges us of this curse, is it not worth it? Tell me more about those ruins behind the tree. That's what's left of the Temple of Eothas. His lips pucker. Lord Radric forbade worship of the dead god after the Saints' War. It's been abandoned for almost 15 years, but there are plans to rededicate it to Barath, the god of life and death. Abandoned. Because some nice lord decided to pull it down because he was scared of its god, even after it died. Barath's a good choice, though. I like it. Barath believes in cycles. I like to think that what happened to that temple will get repaid someday, too. Enough about Gilded Vale. You'll get to know the town well enough as you explore, I'm sure. Goodbye. Okay. So first, before we do anything else, we're going to go talk to Naughton about what he did. Finish that up. Maybe we'll explore the temple in the next episode too. I don't know. I don't remember. We'll at least see if we can do it now. We might have to wait. I can't remember if there's something that triggers that or what. Hello.
Well met, friend.
Hello again. Ingruid smiles. I hope Gilded Vale has been kind to you. It has been. But I know what really happened in that bear cave, Naughton. The color drains from Naughton's face. I don't know what you mean. I told you the truth of it. Are you accusing him of something? Ingruid looks to Naughton, touching his arm. If this is about the accident, we're both grieving Pearlie's loss, but it was a wild animal's doing. Naughton shakes his head minutely. You see a tremble in his hands. What would make you suggest such a thing? Stop. I have no patience for cowards and liars. I had a vision in the cave. Why'd you do it? He was your friend. Stop. I have no patience for cowards and liars. Naughton flinches, but meets your gaze. After a moment, he sets his jaw and nods. Fine. I confess it. I did it. I saw to it he'd never leave that cave. His hand falls to his sword belt, and I'd do it again. Naughton, wait. Ingrid raises the hand. I don't know what you saw in that cave, but this isn't what you think. Pearlie, my husband, he was much a beast as that bear. I tried to leave the first time I suffered his temper, but he wouldn't have it. She looks away, expression pained. Naughton, we met, and I knew I'd found someone special, someone kind, who cared for me. Please. All we want is to leave this place, to start somewhere else. She looks down at the satchels. We've some coins saved up. You could have it, if you only let us go. No. Whatever your reason, you caused the man's death. I'm taking you to the magistrate. Sounds fair enough. Hand it over. Pearlie doesn't get a second chance. You two don't deserve one either. I don't need your coin. Go, get out of my sight. I don't need your coin. Go, get out of my sight. Ingrid breathes out shakily. Yes, we will. Thank you. Thank you for your compassion. Yeah, I think that that's how I kind of want to play her. She's tough. She doesn't beat around the bush, right? Like, she's straight to the point, very blunt. But she's not selfish. She's not mean. She doesn't really care too much for the law. Like, she does care about the law, but she's not, like, she follows the laws, but she's not an enforcer of the law, right? As we get to know more about maybe her religion, maybe we'll make a stand on certain things more often. But in this case, what it sounds like Pearlie was keeping his wife prisoner, in a sense, right? Like, I guess she could have just ran away. I don't know how cruel of a husband he was, other than not letting her leave him, right? Like, get a divorce or whatever it is in this lore. Now I don't know if, like, there was an abusive relationship going on. I guess if you're not letting your wife leave you, then it's a little abusive just just on principle. So, like, yes, I'm okay with it. Yeah, he was an asshole. This is assuming she's telling the truth, too, which I don't get the impression that she'd have any reason to lie to us at this point, right? I mean, other than, I guess there was a very good reason for her to lie to us, and that we won't hurt nothing. But yeah, I think this is okay. She didn't know Pearly. She's not, this righteous Avenger sort of character or anything like that. At least not yet. She's still finding herself, right? I think she's a very young person. She hasn't really found who she is yet, and that's partly because I don't know the lore of this world very well. So I don't want to pigeonhole her into something that later down the line I'll realize I didn't really want for her character. So we're gonna play it like that, but that's generally how she is. She's tough, to the point, aggressive in that sense. She's clever in the fact that she can figure these things out, right? Like that. She figured it out really quickly, recognized that he was trying to lie to her and get through it, and she's just like, stop it. That kind of cleverness. And maybe we'll have some other opportunities to show off her cleverness and stuff. We want to try and play the Magran priest very well, while at the same time, because I know now that I'm refreshing myself on the game, I'm aware that we do get a companion who I think worships Magran as well. We don't want to be anything like him. Or at least not, when I say not anything like him, we don't want his personality, essentially. We want to be different, but still worship Magran. So hopefully once we meet him, which should be pretty soon, we'll have the opportunity to really delve into the faith a little bit more. Thank you for your compassion. Let's go, Naughton. We have a long way ahead of us. Good luck. A lot of experience there. And now we can loot your place. The Direwood Part 2. Okay. Now let's head over to the inn, and we're going to sleep, and that's where we'll end this episode. We'll talk to the chef, too. In the next episode, we'll check the temple, see if we can do it. If we can do it now, we'll do it next episode. If not, we'll move on. If I remember correctly, though, it's actually kind of tough. Maybe we'll go get the next companion before we do that. That might be actually a smart idea. Because we'll have to come back to give Kalisha's sister the potion anyway. Maybe we'll do it when we do that. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Pasca.
Hail and well met.
Hello and welcome to the innkeeper looks up. Oh, it's you. Tenfrith told us what you did for him. It's such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favorite of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back to work in the kitchen. She laughs. So, what would you like? What do you have for sale? I'm sure we'll find something to your liking. We have the finest cook in Direwood. More experience? Very nice. I do want to sell all this stuff. Don't need it. At least I hope we don't need it. We'll keep those things. We'll keep the helmets and the capes, just in case. Trade that. Good money. We'll get rid of all of this stuff. A bunch of gold. We have 800 gold now. Or copper. Okay. More experience. Late for dinner complete. How are we doing on experience? Where does it show our experience? Up here? Oh, we still got quite a bit to get. That's stealing. Spoons hang by the fire, coated in brownish gunk. Yum. Ah, it's you, my savior. He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's so good to be back. Do not think I will let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned the right to learn one of my most closely guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. Awesome, thanks. I haven't really looked into crafting, if that's even a thing.
Gods keep you.
Don't know who you are, don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Eothas narrows his eyes. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it too. What if I told you that Trumbull's changed his mind about the grain prices? I saw you outside the mill. What was that about? Well, someone fancies themselves a meddler, eh? What's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town, on account of he's got the mill to his name. The dwarf's jowls quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry, while some bastard gets rich off their crops. That's what it's fucking about. Now shove off. What are you doing in here, then? What's it look like? Drink until we forget about how much I want to put a pitchfork through Trumbull's face. What if I told you he changed his mind? The dwarf looks up, blinking. What? You serious? He exchanges looks with his fellows, who grin hesitantly. The old man's listened to reason. About time. I told him he'd come around, but damn if he didn't take his time about it. He sets a few coppers on the table. Here, buy yourself a drink. Now that we can afford it. Goes for you too as well. Drinks on me. Good. Anything more to say? Nope, can't thank you enough. Might be we'll last the season now. Might be.
Gods keep you.
Like a room? Certainly. I'm fine with the common room. Actually, we're about to go into uncharted waters. Let's at least get this. +1 perception, +1 mechanics. 83 copper. Ah, what a lovely looking room. Alright, 8 hours are passed. And that is where we are going to end this episode, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. In the next one, we will continue south towards Canua, but we also got to find we got the blacksmith supplies too, and we got to go to the cove in order to get the potion for Cleach's sister. So that's what we'll be working on next episode. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.